Hey, it's Tom Stelauer, the lead nutritionist of SixPackAbs.com, and today I want to be talking about 5 ways that you can start accelerating your results when it comes down to fasting. You've probably seen that fasting is one of the largest growing ways to get in amazing shape, but let's take it up a notch. Let's figure out what we could do to start making it a little bit of a better experience in terms of the results that you want faster. You've probably seen my science-based six-pack program floating around the internet before, and if you haven't, it's down below in the description. But for now, let's just talk about what you can do. The first thing I want you to do when you are in your fasted state is start drinking black coffee. So many people think that you shouldn't be consuming coffee when you're fasting. The thing is, it depends what kind of fast you're doing. If you're doing a fast purely for purity reasons, that's a little bit of a different situation. But if you're doing it for detox plus body composition, that black coffee is going to make a huge difference for you. In fact, recent studies have shown that there is an 11% increase in your resting metabolic rate just by consuming some caffeine. Now, you add insult to that by saying, okay, I'm already fasting, my body's already utilizing fat as a fuel source, and now you're mobilizing fat with caffeine. You're in a really good situation where your body is not only boosting its metabolism, but you're also boosting the mobilization of the fatty acids. So huge thing there. That's number 1. Don't be afraid of the coffee. Okay, but oh wait, don't put cream in it. Keep it black, okay? Number 2 is get potassium in the mix. Why? Because insulin and potassium work hand in hand. You see, when we're fasting, one of the coolest benefits that we have is we're not having the secretion of insulin. Insulin is secreted by the beta cells within the pancreas to tell cells in our body to absorb nutrients. So every time we consume food, our pancreas secretes insulin. And insulin puts us in absorptive phase, where our body just holds on to things. Cells open up and receive nutrients. That's obviously not what we want when we're fasting. When we're fasting, we want our body to do the opposite. We want it to release nutrients and burn those, things like fat, so that we're not storing it. But the interesting thing is that if we have potassium in the mix, it sort of shunts insulin production a little bit. You see, there's a particular ATP pathway that works with potassium in the pancreas. And if we have the right amount of potassium in the mix and our electrolytes are balanced there, those sodium-potassium pumps can work really, really well in the ATP pathways in the pancreas, meaning that it's working properly and the insulin isn't just randomly being secreted by the pancreas like it can be sometimes. So it makes it so it's a lot more of an effective situation. It also makes it so that when you do break your fast, your body's in a really good situation when it comes down to how it utilizes those nutrients, because the insulin is going to be functioning a lot more properly. Okay, the next one is making sure that you get good sleep on the days that you fast. Okay, or more importantly, the days before you fast. Because if you're not fasting every single day and you're fasting like 3 days per week, you want to try to sync them up on the days that you sleep really well the day before. Sometimes you can even be a little bit more impromptu about it. Be like, I slept really good last night, so I'm going to fast today. Or conversely, I slept like crap last night, maybe today's not the best day to fast. Maybe I'll fast tomorrow. Why? Because when we are sleep deprived, our cortisol values are very high. Cortisol has a direct communication with, again, our pancreas and insulin production. When our cortisol levels are high, our body's producing more insulin. It's producing more insulin because it wants to be able to take the blood sugar and pull it into the cells for energy. It's a survival process. So we don't necessarily want that. You see, there's this constant communication called the hypothalamic pituitary axis. The hypothalamus communicates with the pituitary. That pituitary secretes hormones or tells other glands to secrete hormones to cause us to want to eat, cause us to be hungry, to cause insulin secretions. So if you fast on days that you're sleep deprived, not only are you more likely or less likely to burn fat, but you're also more likely to be super, super hungry throughout the course of the day. So that's that. Okay, the next one is drink more water. Okay, studies have shown, and the Obesity Journal actually published a study that showed that those that consume enough water lost 44% more weight than those that didn't. That's pretty powerful. Just means that staying hydrated satiates you. It makes it so that you're not that hungry. So just drink a lot of water, but there's also some very powerful detoxification processes that go when it comes down to your liver. So you want to make sure you're drinking water. Lastly, getting your magnesium and your sodium in too. I know I talked specifically about potassium because the potassium works on a different pump that has to do with the adenosine triphosphate pathways within the liver. But when we're talking about magnesium, we're talking about sodium, we're talking about things that actually help your brain work better. You see, when you're fasting, you're in a mineral deficient state, unfortunately. You're not consuming a lot of minerals, so your body ends up needing more. Thing is, minerals aren't going to break a fast. Magnesium won't break a fast, sodium won't break a fast, potassium won't break a fast if you take them in their pure trace mineral state. So go for it, do that. Magnesium is going to relax the muscles, going to make it so you're not so tense. Sodium is going to actually allow you to retain a little bit more water so you're not dehydrated, so the previous tip that I gave you can actually function. So there you have it, 5 simple tips. Don't be afraid of coffee. Get that potassium in to help the insulin function. Get enough water, get enough sleep, and get your magnesium and get your sodium in. Put it in your water. Do whatever you have to do to get it in. As always, make sure you keep it locked in. And if you haven't already, you haven't embarked on a fasting journey, the A to Z guide is right below in the description. It's going to give you what you need to know to be able to learn what you have to do day in and day out to achieve the body that you want utilizing intermittent fasting. I'll see you there.